This is the way we do the work, office work, paperwork. Ahoy hoy!
Darren, it's me, Hex. I'm just finishing up some gaming for the show, but I'll be in the studio soon.
Hex, are you unwell?
It's just a little cold, but I think I'll be okay.
Negative. You are clearly unwell. Your health takes top priority. We'll get the show done, don't you worry. Just rest up.
Oh, thank you so much, Darren.
Take care. Goodbye. Get well soon. Goodbye.
Bye.
Hello and welcome to Good Games Spawn Point, the show for gamers by gamers. I am Darren.
And I'm Goose. And shouldn't we have waited for Hex before we started the show, Darren?
Negative, Goose. I've had to lock her out of the studio.
You locked her out? How come?
My scanners detected a contagious rhinovirus emanating from her paranasal sinuses.
She's a rhino? I mean, she's got a cold? Oh, wait, Darren, that stuff doesn't even affect you.
Affirmative. I'm thinking of you, Goose.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Well, I hope she feels better soon. In the meantime, I might just scoot over here and try out... Oh, wow. Oh, this one's much more comfortable. I think I'll stick around here for the rest of the show because we'll be building some teetering towers into the sky in Project Highrise. Plus, we explore a world of angry core bots in the action-adventure ReCore.
Well, if you want, Mac and I can find the things you need.
Really? That'd be great. Here, take this. You'll need it more than me.
I should point out, Goose, that we robots don't actually feel emotions like anger. We just experience elevated levels of CPU stress and heat.
Oh, and you just vent that heat by blasting your laser at things.
Affirmative, Goose. It's nothing personal.
Oh, that makes so much sense. Well, why don't you blast me some trivia then, Darren?
Indeed. Brace yourselves, Spawnlings. It's time for Darren's Challenge! Today, I'm asking you this. In Yokai Watch, what is the very first item you receive in the game? Answer at the end of the show.
Oh, I know this. It's, oh, come on, Goose.
So shall I do the gaming picks this week?
It's, yeah, sure, Darren. Oh, no, wait, Darren. Oh, blast.
Too late.
You know, Hex would know this.
Extra, extra! Read all about it. Get your gaming picks here, Spawnlings. A company called Augmented Climbing has built an interactive climbing system. Using a projector and a Kinect sensor, the team can enhance any climbing wall with a veritable variety of video games, including Whack-A-Bat, Climb Ball, and Sparks, which can turn your boring everyday climbing into pure gaming goodness. What's that? You don't have space for a climbing wall and projector in your house, you say? Well, this next story is for you, Buster. The Raspberry Pi Zero continues to shrink the world of electronics. This tiny arcade machine is barely the size of your thumb, but comes loaded with games and functioning joysticks. What will they shrink of next? And that's all from this extra edition of Gaming Picks.
We won't be needing that.
Okay, Goose, what's big, impressive, and full of stories?
My great-granddaddy Goose Gandelot III.
Negative, but I'll give you a hint. It's made of steel, concrete, and glass.
My concrete granddaddy?
Negative, it's a high-rise.
Oh, you meant stories. That's very confusing.
Negative. Project Highrise is a simulator that sets you the task of building the biggest, grandest, most profitable skyscraper you can. place shops, offices, apartments, and services in it to build not just a tower, but a whole urban ecosystem.
Yes, you must keep your tenants happy so they stay in the building. You need to get them to spend money, to build more levels, to get more tenants, and that's it actually.
The challenge becomes keeping up with the needs of those tenants while expanding and attracting more. There are contracts to complete and the day-to-day demands of a thriving high-rise to keep up with. Electricity, water, cable TV, phones, gas, garbage disposal, building maintenance, recycling. It sounds like a lot, but it doesn't take long to get a handle on things.
But Darren, I found once you get comfortable with all that micromanagement, the challenge sort of disappears. And while the game is still fun, it loses that urgency and excitement. Like how when you're running to catch a bus, it's exciting, but then once you catch the bus and you're on the bus, there's no challenge because all the challenge is to stay on the bus, which is easy because you're already on the bus.
That's one way of putting it, Goose.
Thank you.
There are harder settings where you start with less money, as well as challenges with specific objectives. But I liked how creative you could be when you weren't so pressed for cash. Best demonstrated by D.A.R.R.E.N Tower, a bustling metropolitan oasis of commercial and residential suites that doubles as a grand tribute to its glorious creator.
Very impressive, Darren. The game does give you some interesting tools so you can track things like foot traffic, bad odours and loud noise in your building, and then you can adjust it to deal with these issues. Overall, I really enjoyed this game, and 10 hours into my first building, I was already looking forward to starting a new one and planning it to perfection.
And?
Well, actually, then it did start to feel like a bit of a chore, so maybe this is a game that's best left for a while and coming back too fresh with some grand new designs.
Alas, D.A.R.R.E.N Tower cannot get any grander. I flew too close to the sun and destroyed the sun with my brilliance. Oh, I'm giving Project Highrise 3.5 out of 5 rubber chickens.
I'm gonna give it 3 rubber chickens, Darren.
Oh, now sit back and relax, Goose. It's time for a retro replay with Bajo and me. Roll the tape, please.
Do you want to know why we're rapping and rhyme?
Cause we're about to look way back in time.
To check out games from yesterday.
They may be old, but they're fun to play.
We got the facts that you need to know.
Of the radical world of gaming retro.
Charging my laser.
That's my thing.
Where is that Bajo?
Oh, hi, Darren. Do you know which retro replay we're doing today?
I could hazard a guess.
It's Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Oh, you certainly can go fast when you want to, Bajo. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 came out for the Sega Mega Drive in 1992. Dr. Ivo Robotnik was at it again, set on building an army of robots and trapping cute little animals inside them. Doesn't sound too bad to me.
Well, I guess that's all just a matter of perspective, Darren. It was your job to stop Ivo Robotnik and free the trapped animals. And the only way to do that was to go very, very, very fast.
In fact, Bajo, Sonic moved even faster than he did in the first game, thanks to some new programming. And this time he also had a friend, the delightful fox with 2 tails, called Tails.
Ah, Tails. Tails was totes adorbs. Oh, and don't forget the 3D bonus stages, Darren.
I could never, Bajo. 3D games were rare back in the early 90s, especially on consoles. At the time, critics around the world praised the coding skills of the developers for their 3D half-pipe special bonus levels.
Oh, that was so exciting, Darren. You had to dodge bombs. And of course, collect even more rings. That's a lot of rings to collect.
Almost too many.
Yeah, well, it was kind of Sonic's thing. You know, back in those days, you couldn't look up cheats online to get through a game. In fact, online didn't even really exist. And I don't mind saying that I was the first kid in my school to find all those elusive Chaos Emeralds hidden amongst the levels.
No small achievement, Bajo. That is indeed something to be proud of, and about which you can justifiably gloat.
Darren, do you ever think we'll get a Sonic game as good as Sonic the Hedgehog 2 again?
Who knows, Bajo? Only time will tell. Perhaps Sonic went too fast, too soon.
Well, we'll always have the Green Hill Zone.
Affirmative. Retro replay complete. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Ah, good work, Darren. I'm still not sick of that theme.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, but now we're needed at the R spawn point desk.
Oh, yes.
Oh, off we go.
Ah, well, this is kind of exciting, Darren. We get to be in control of the R spawn point desk, and you look very professional back in your reporter's outfit.
Oh, thank you, Goose. I do love answering questions.
And best of all, you won't have to call in and interrupt since you're already here.
We'll see about that, Goose.
Now, shall we answer some questions?
Oh, of course. Now, do you want to be the question taker, or shall I?
Let's rock, paper, scissors, pasta scoop for it.
Okay, one more time. And rock, paper, scissors,
pasta
pasta scoop. Who wins?
Oh, I win.
Well, how do you figure that?
Oh, just don't be a sore loser, Goose. Now, our first question for today comes from Ben of Hoen, who is in Hoen, Adoy, New South Wales.
Adoy? As in like adoy?
Maybe. Maybe that's just how it's spelled.
That's true.
You
Lovely.
can't judge people, Goose. It's wrong. It's wrong. Hi, GGSP. I was wondering what was required to play Wind Waker on GameCube, but on the Wii. Will I need a GameCube controller or a classic controller? If GameCube controller, can I still get it on the Wii? Thanks! P.S. I'm getting Wind Waker soon. Oh! Well, Ben of Hoen, you will need a GameCube controller to play it on the Wii. You see, when the Wii plays GameCube games, it essentially shuts off some of the Wii hardware and switches into a GameCube. So Wii controllers and classic controllers won't work, as they did not exist when GameCubes were around.
Does that also mean you'll need a GameCube memory card to save your game?
Affirmative. You will need a memory card to save your game since the GameCube side of the Wii can't access the Wii's hard drive.
Ah, well, you're definitely going to want one for a Zelda game. I mean, good luck getting through Wind Waker without saving. I imagine you can still buy both fairly easily, though. There should be plenty available online.
Affirmative. And you may even be able to track them down in some stores, but that will be a bit trickier and more time-consuming than just doing a quick internet search for them. We should note that Wii U owners can play the HD remastered version of Wind Waker with a Wii U controller. But let's move on now to this one from Venom, who is in Jeff in New South Wales.
Noob! You're wronger than Ronjins. Disnep Infinity 4.0 is rel. Eft you don't believe me. Search in images. Well, firstly, what are Ronjins?
Oh, maybe they're like engines, but wrong.
Okay, well, anyway, I'm sure I remember reporting on Disney shutting down the studio behind Infinity and cancelling 4.0, so I don't think we are any Ronjins on that front.
Affirmative. Bajo and Hex even explained it when another Spawnling said a similar thing. But those images of Disney Infinity 4.0 you can find online were from the game before it was cancelled. But it is most definitely cancelled.
No, but we'd love to be proven wrong. It's just that I'd take an official statement about closing down the studio and cancelling the game as a more concrete source of information than just some internet pictures you found.
Although, by all means, Venom, keep on believing if you don't believe us.
Yes, don't stop believing, but who are we to tell you what to believe? Just prepare to be waiting a long time for it to come out, because at this stage, it won't ever come out. Ah! Oh, wait, who can this be?
Well, there's only one way to find out, isn't there?
Sure.
Could you...
Oh, yeah, sure, no worries. Hello, Goose speaking.
Hello, Goose.
Darren, but you're here. How can you be there?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
I am.
Ha 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 ha.
That was a little joke I recorded earlier.
I don't get it, Darren. I don't know how you're doing that, and that's freaking me out.
Oh, okay.
Well, let's move on, Goose. And you might need to get the Noob Cup for Ronjans ready for this question from Royal Wipeout, who's in Canberra, in the ACT.
You there again?
Noob Cup alert. 1. Goose needs to drink from the Noob Cup for a mistake in the Human Fall Flat review. He said he couldn't apply your character's customization, but you can! When you have finished, you need to press apply and then go back and press save. 2. Is there any good Wipeout games available in Australia? If Goose doesn't drink from the Noob Cup, then all cheese sandwiches and Hex's tiny tower of deliciousness will be sucked down my whirlpool of disaster. Thank you. Come again. Oh dear, Goose. What do you have to say for yourself?
Well, Royal Wipeout. All I was saying was that I had a bug and it didn't let me apply my design. Obviously, there's a way to apply them. It just wasn't working for me.
Do you have any proof of this, Goose?
I do indeed, Darren. Here's the footage of me trying to click apply, but it simply didn't work. I mean, you can't actually see me clicking, but I was. I know how to click a mouse, Darren. Plus, I've played it since, and it worked fine, so I know how it's supposed to have worked. I just thought it was worth mentioning. There were a few bugs in the game.
Well, it is your job as a reviewer to highlight any potential issues with a game. And we did clarify there were bugs. So on this charge of noobery, I find you not guilty. But I do have a rather large backlog of complaints to get through. Perhaps it's time for another episode of Noob Watch.
Maybe we could do that when Bajo gets back?
Well, most of them are accusing you of being a noob, Goose.
No, but I've only been here a few weeks, Darren.
Oh, well, you shouldn't be such a Ronjan then, should you?
But as for if there are any good Wipeout games available in Australia, well, that depends. If you mean Wipeout games based on the TV show, then that would be a negative. There are definitely games based on that show, and they are available in Australia, but they aren't good.
But if you mean Wipeout as in the futuristic racing game, then there's quite a few of those available, and they're actually quite good. I think the most recent one was Wipeout 2048 for the Vita, and then there was Wipeout HD on the PS3 before that.
My personal favourite was Wipeout 2097 for PS1.
Oh, that was good.
But on that note, we're out of time for this week. And if you'd like to ask us something, then you can go here.
Do you want some help with that?
Could you do that here?
There we go.
And send it in.
Oh. All right, back to the studio.
Affirmative!
Where did you get that great hat, by the way?
Oh, thank you.
Very helpful there, Darren. Thank you. Now, are you ready to head into the future and save the world?
But I already did that on the weekend.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about your time travel-y, wibbly, wobbly thing. Well, why don't we just review ReCore?
Come on. Nice and easy. Ow! Dang it. Well, I guess we'll have to do this the hard way. Gotcha!
At the start of ReCore, you awaken on a new planet called Far Eden and discover that Earth has been hit by a horrible plague. You play Jewel, who is under instruction from her scientist father to find out why Far Eden's terraforming has gone wrong, as this was to be a place of resettlement for all the citizens fleeing Earth.
And you're not really given much more to go off other than that initial setup. But you very quickly start encountering maintenance robots that have gone haywire, and so your focus falls on finding out why.
Not all robots are nasty though, Goose.
Oh, I know, Darren, old buddy.
And in the game, you have a friendly Corebot sidekick companion to keep you company, a robotic dog by the name of Mac.
Oh, come here, boy. I see that leg. Doesn't look too bad, but I won't be able to fix it here. Can you make it back to the crawler? Okay. Let's go home.
You can eventually unlock other companions as well, but it's hard to resist the unflappable courage of a canine companion.
Yeah, Mac is just great, isn't he? He helps you out in combat, digs up useful stuff, and as you travel and scavenge, you'll unlock parts to upgrade him with, which becomes a nice little side project.
At E3 earlier this year, we got to speak to ReCore's writer, Joseph Staten. Here's what he had to say about the game.
Writing ReCore has been a really fun change of pace for me in the kind of games that I usually write. The charm and fun of the game is that combination of the robots, the core bots that you choose to be with you, and the different things that you can do with them. We're working with Keiji Inafune-san of Mega Man fame, and the guys at Armature who are the leads on Metroid Prime. So if you know those two games and you smash them together, you get a hopefully really charming, fun action platformer called ReCore.
Now, ReCore is set in a semi-open world. You have a central home base that you can fast travel from, but your range is quite limited as locations need to be unlocked. You very quickly realise that the bulk of the game is just battling robots and retrieving power cores to unlock doors.
Yeah, it does become very repetitive very quickly. And the combat just isn't engaging enough to keep that gameplay loop of exploration and combat interesting. Something about it just feels a bit dated, Darren, like that gameplay is stuck in the noughties.
More time travelling is clearly required to resolve this anomaly, Goose.
Or some better game design. Your weapon can use elemental ammo that's colour-coded to certain enemies, like blue for electricity, for instance, but rather than making the combat more interesting, it felt a bit like an afterthought to me. And pretty much all the fights resolve with you doing a finishing move minigame to rip a power core out over and over again.
Affirmative. The boss fights are largely forgettable too. The game does really boil down to hunting for cores to open doors, to hunt for cores to open more doors.
Well, at least Jewel looks pretty cool while doing it. Getting around with cool double jumps and boosts makes moving through the game quite satisfying. The platforming bits are really fun and the graphics are quite nice too.
The concept for ReCore came from the Japanese game designer Keiji Inafune, who is best known for his work on the Mega Man games. So Goose, perhaps that's why some of the gameplay ideas feel a bit old school.
Yeah, maybe, Darren. Also, the studio that made this, Concept, worked on his last game, Mighty No. 9, and as I recall, that didn't get a great review from Bajo and Hex.
Affirmative. They hated it. However, I would not say that ReCore is quite in the same league of disappointment.
No, it's just all a bit average when you boil it down. It's a great concept, I just don't think they did enough with it, so I'm only giving it 2 rubber chickens out of 5.
I'll add half a rubber chicken for the amount of robots in the game, so it's 2.5 out of 5 rubber chickens from me.
That's fair enough. That is part of your scoring system. I'd add half if there was a goose in it.
That's fair.
Well, Darren, we're nearing the end of our Goose D.A.R.R.E.N. spectacular, so I guess we should get the answer to your challenge.
Affirmative! At the start of the show, I asked you this. In Yokai Watch, what is the very first item you receive in the game? And the answer is... the bug net!
Ah, yes, the bug net, of course, Darren. It was on the tip of my tongue. Next week, we review 2 games starting with the letter F. It's Furious Football in FIFA and Fun Racing in Forza.
Vroom, 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 vroom!
And I can't believe we're finally here.
Looking out the window, and I have to tell you, they have beaches here to take your
They may
breath.
call this the land down under, baby, but all I'm saying is I've never seen anything less down or under.
That new Forza Horizon is set in Australia, Goose!
Oh, bonza, Darren. I bags driving. You can be my sat-nav.
At the next kangaroo, turn left.
Perfect. Until next time, Spawnlings, may all your games be good ones. Goose out.
Darren out.